Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
All right. One more miserable fucking week of shit. It's Christmas time, baby.
Yeah, man.
Aside from July 4th, absolutely favorite time of the year. Actually, I probably like it a little bit more than July 4th.
I like
it's
it
a whole, you got the Christmas through New Year's holiday season.
Yeah.
Fucking love it. And it's an excuse for nobody to fucking bug me about work shit.
They will anyway. Spoilers.
I know, but I'm just going to throw them. I'm justified in throwing my phone in a drawer and saying fuck off.
Fair.
Anyway, what we got today? We got that crazy movie. What the fuck was it?
Dagger of Kamui.
Oh, man, it was
Blade of Kamui. Whatever
1985. We went back. I was sick of watching shit we already saw, so I wanted to dig back into the vault. And man, we got a doozy.
a lot of stuff to say about it.
I knew nothing about it. Like, it was highly recommended, and I was just like, boom.
We'll have some thoughts on that.
If I haven't seen it, I gotta see it. So we're gonna review that. We're gonna go through the first half-ish.
Of
G Gundam. Everybody's favorite Gundam show.
If it isn't, it should be. No, it's not even my favorite Gundam show. But it is awesome.
It's a fun ride, though.
It might be my favorite alternate, non-UC Gundam show.
And there's been a lot of stuff getting canceled this last week, so we're gonna
talk about is this
the
end of live action anime, especially in the West. I mean, it's kind of silly to argue about whether it is in Japan because they will,
in Japan it's very much part of the squeeze money out of it model.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Anyway, before we get into any of that shit, you know what time it is? The fucking news.
It is time for the news. All right, so
whoa, that is a strong beer. I didn't expect that.
It's a double milk stout. These things happen.
Woo!
That's not news, people.
Double.
Anyway, first thing up here, we got some news here on Ultraman. So one of the Netflix anime-related things that wasn't trash.
I'm excited. I love me some Ultraman.
Probably because Japan just did it. Is they're doing a second season, and it's coming out in April for the CG Ultraman they did.
We better get our shit together because we never finished it.
We did never finish it. We'll get there.
What the fuck's wrong with us?
Yeah, I remember liking the bits that I saw. It was pretty cool.
I think we watched like first maybe 5 episodes.
Got to finish it.
Like that.
Yeah. Anyway, that's coming out here in April. So
I get distracted.
If you watched the first season and you're excited about the second season, coming out soon. If you didn't watch the first season, well, now you got time to watch the first season if you're into that kind of thing.
I have a hard time not liking anything that's Ultraman related.
Yeah, man. Old tokusatsu stuff. Really cool.
Remember Red Baron? Not to get you off track, but
Red Baron.
That show was amazing. What was it like? Something Science Squad? It was like Ninja Science Team.
No,
or something?
Ninja Science Team was like the original. That's like Ultraman.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I just remember Ninja Science.
Red Baron is a different thing, but
they had
somewhat related.
They had the same thing, but it was a similar name though. It was like fucking Ultra Science Squad.
You know how all those names work in Japan?
I know. It's
they are all similar.
Anyway,
also ain't news. So apparently we were talking about this last week. The Ultraman movie, which I thought had come out over the summer, it did not. It got delayed. So it is actually coming out May 13th, 2022.
Oh, that means we're not going to
see
it until 2023.
It's going to take that much longer for us over here in the West to see it legitimately.
That's life.
But hey, I'm pretty stoked. A crazy Anno-directed Ultraman is...
I'm excited.
I'm excited for that. His Godzilla movie, his live-action Godzilla was awesome.
Oh, just an aside before I forget, the next episode of Lupin the Third is directed by Mamoru Oshii.
Or plenty of strips. What was it again?
The next episode of fucking Lupin is directed by Oshii.
Yes. It's like episode 10 of part 6 of Lupin.
Yes.
You literally just crapped that out of nowhere. Good job.
When stuff pops into my brain, I got to get it out before it's gone forever.
Great time.
That's wild, though. I mean, it's Oshii.
Yeah? No? Well, you already said it was greatest hits. Just watch all of the new Lupin. Don't question it. Just do it. So, more tokusatsu kind of news. The next Gridman Universe project has been announced.
Oh man,
And it's a movie, and it is what everybody I think expected, which is
crossover.
Dynazenon X Gridman.
Yes,
And they already got pictures of the Dynarex and Gridman combining.
Oh my god, I'm super excited.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I really like Dynazenon. I never finished Gridman, so I got to go back and do that.
Rarely does the exact thing I want to happen. So fucking drink it in.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm 100% in, and you know, I certainly recommend Dynazenon highly.
Oh, they were both really, really good. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you like that old school, like, you know, tokusatsu,
But like
Power Rangers,
a new riff
Sentai.
on it, good new animation. Even like the CG.
CG's decent. It's decent enough. They use it mostly for robots.
They use it just for the robots,
and the buildings, which bounce a little too much for my liking. But
yeah, that's just a weird style.
it's not how buildings work.
But whatever.
Japan. They should know how buildings work. They should like blow away like matchsticks, because I've seen a lot of Godzilla movies.
Right. Listen, that's just their style.
They got a lot of reference materials.
Their style.
All right, Zuck. All right. Moving on. So back from the dead is the old school classic series Wizardry.
Oh man.
So apparently they're doing.
I haven't heard shit about that in like 30 years.
Yeah, they're doing a remake of a 2006 game. So what the hell was it? The Five Ordeals.
Whoa.
Is what it's called here.
That's a lot of ordeals.
Yeah, and apparently this will be the first Western release for a Wizardry game since 2001.
That's a long time ago.
It's been a long time. Remember Wizardry being very big in the 80s,
Hell yeah.
fading away, coming back a little bit in the late 90s, early 2000. Oh, 2001, right? And then fading away again.
It's exactly 20 years ago. Dun, dun, dun.
So
Was it a prophecy?
no, it looks like they're going to bring it back. I mean, they're doing this remake, and then it looks like we're getting some, there's a lot of trademarks filed for, like, Wizardry 6, 7, 8, whatever. So
Fair enough.
It looks like they're going to start marketing again. So, hey, they were old school dungeon crawlers. If you're not familiar with the Wizardry series, they were one of the original dungeon crawlers. I mean, I remember the original game on the damn Mac where it was black and white.
Yes.
And you were walking through corridors, and it was first person, and it was hard as nails. And boy, your characters would die all the damn time.
Yeah, it was.
You had to go back to the tavern and get more.
It was so fucking hard.
One of the original like permadeath games, people that like Fire Emblem and stuff like that. It was one of the original games that did that, man. You had characters, they died, well, too freaking bad. You could bring them back and get resurrected, but you had to spend money. You didn't have that gold? Tough luck. Total party kill? Oh, well.
Yeah, man. That's what sucks about being poor. You can't resurrect your party.
That's what it is. So, yeah, Wizardry's coming back. So that's pretty cool. Apparently, it's already in early access on Steam if you want to check it out. Yeah.
It's one of those rando franchises. They just summon up from the grave.
Yeah. Hey, I'll take it. All right. So now I have sad news.
Always with the bad news.
I got 3 bits of sad news this week, unfortunately.
Damn.
Yeah. So the first is novelist Masayoshi Yasugi has died at the age of 49. Wrote Exiled from Paradise, sorry. If you remember that movie from a couple years ago.
Yep.
Pretty cool movie based on the book. Not sure yet. Very well could be a suicide. Lived by himself. Only 49. I don't know. Just unfortunate. So, pouring out for Masayoshi Yasugi. Moving on. This one is perhaps not quite as tragic, but not good. NES and SNES creator Masayuki Uemura has passed away, age of 78.
Oh, I did read that, yeah.
Yeah. On Super Nintendo, I'll stick with it. I think Short Fat Otaku said this the other day. Like, the golden age of gaming was the Super Nintendo, and I agree.
Oh, fuck
that Super Nintendo era with the Mega Drive / Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo.
Yep.
You get the early PlayStation 1 stuff, like late Nintendo games, the Game Boy. Like, my God, the best era of gaming, like, for my dollar.
Yeah, it really is.
Not that the best games, there's games now that blow those games out of the water, right? But man, there's just something great about how simple they were.
They were so simple, but you had to like work really hard to get anywhere.
And there was some sense of accomplishment. They were so pretty with the pixel art.
Yep.
Like, the pixel art was just so much better. So many pixel art games now are lazy.
Well,
Some of them aren't. Some of them look good still.
That's just because they're getting those nostalgia dollars. They don't have to be good.
Yeah.
Back then, everything was trying to be state of the art. You know what I mean? Like, that was the best you had.
But I think the man that created the Super Nintendo is gone. That just makes me sad. Makes me feel old, too.
Yeah, I know. That's the worst part. Like, goddamn. 78 is not that old either. I thought Japan's, like, life expectancy was way higher than ours. The fuck?
I know. It does suck.
Hard living, I guess.
Yeah, moving on to 57-year-old.
That's even shittier.
Yeah, Keiko Nobumoto has passed away. Cowboy Bebop, Tokyo Godfathers.
Yep, I read that one too.
Wolf's Rain, which is a crazy-ass show. I'd recommend anybody just to check it out because it's a weird...
Oh, yeah, that was a wild show.
I liked it,
that
but
was like a
I've never
Toonami
watched
one
it.
back in the day.
Yeah, I never rewatched it, but I liked it. It was an interesting show.
I kind of want to rewatch it. Did it not have a real ending? Was that what happened? Or did it have a weird
It had a weird, like, reincarnate in the modern day ending after the rest of the show
I remember there was some
wasn't.
weird shit. Like,
And it always made me want a sequel because it would have been cool. She also did frickin' scripts for a Space Dandy, which I love me some Space Dandy, man.
we got to rewatch that and do a whole video on it.
And Samurai Champloo.
Not a big Samurai
Which
Champloo
sucks. Also did some script writing from Across Plus. Another awesome show. So
Really?
just an excellent
Wow,
writer.
she had like a really good resume.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
That's a damn good resume. Was actually the creator of Wolf's Rain, not just a script writer. So that's... Yeah.
Bummer.
That is a bummer. And esophageal cancer, we can all say in agreement, fuck cancer.
Yeah, really.
The worst.
I wonder if she smoked like a fiend.
I don't know.
That's usually what does that.
I don't know. Entirely possible. It is Japan. They do smoke a hell of a lot more than we do.
Maybe a few years ago.
It is picking up over
a lot
here.
more people smoking.
It's picking up
now.
over here now.
Not even
You're not
vaping
wrong.
either. Like, cigarettes are making a comeback, baby. Get that tobacco stank.
Anyway, I'll move on from sad news of a number of passings to
Stop bumming me out, man.
too much happier news
Yay.
of a death. Netflix has canceled the live-action Cowboy Bebop to the surprise of fucking nobody who paid attention.
Absolutely anybody.
Well, I could say a little bit of surprise because Netflix's usual MO is to immediately renew a show no matter how it does for one season and then kill it after 2 seasons unless it's like really good.
From what I read, the numbers were so amazingly bad that they just couldn't justify throwing money at it.
It was such an awful abomination of a show. And, man, I feel bad for Mustafa Shakir, who's the best Jet live action you probably ever get because he crushed it.
I know. He's the only one I feel bad for.
Yeah, everyone else
Like,
can fuck off.
he
John Cho is just a victim of being miscast. I can't really dislike the man.
But that guy did a really good job. Like, you could tell he like researched the character, and he never ran his fucking mouth.
No, Danielle Pineda needs to shut the fuck up. She's just an idiot. Like, what are you doing just insulting people for no reason? That's just that entitled Hollywood bullshit. It's not just women that do it, men do it. It's so stupid. Like, what are you doing? What are you even doing?
Last time I checked, the only point of entertainment was to entertain people.
And why talk, like, don't talk shit about your product. Don't do it anyway. I
And
don't care if it is good.
Don't talk to, like, people. Don't talk down to people like they're retards and expect them to, like, buy your product. Really not smart.
Yeah, she's an idiot. But whatever. Add another one to the scrap pile of Hollywood.
At any rate, dead and gone, just like you.
Thank God. What a pile of trash this was. And we'll talk more about it later because, we're going to talk about whether this is a signal or not and what it might mean or might not mean or whatever.
A whole bunch of stuff getting canceled. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, so we shall see. We shall see. So anyway, Cowboy Bebop. Netflix Cowboy Bebop. I'd pour one out for you, but not going to happen. Ever. Anyway, that's all I got.
There's one of those like things where if like they made that in the 90s, you were just laughed at it and been like, "Wah ha 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 ha, these fucking morons," and then never like, because you remember like they used to do live action cartoons back in the day, And they would be like direct-to-video trash
Garbage.
and get like no budget.
Wing
and
Commander,
be
like
yeah, they'd be like super funny though, and no one would insult you for not liking them.
Wing Commander was a video game, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Same
no,
idea.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I miss the days when things could just be
I would have
funny.
been amazed at how good it looked back in the 90s because it certainly, for nowadays, it's not great, but like they got the art style about half right, and when they got it right, it looked really good.
That is true.
The other half they really screwed up, but
Yeah, it is what it is.
that was the tale of the whole thing, right? Like half of it was well done, half of it was, well, maybe not half, but part of it was well done. There was a good series lurking in there, but certain decisions like making the episodes almost an hour long were just baffling.
Trash.
And were never going to work. Just never going to work.
Once again, why does it have to exist?
And muzzle your idiot actors.
That's like a thing now. They all do that for everything.
Yeah, and it doesn't help. It never helps.
Well, I mean, it reverse helps, right?
They're trying to get their own careers going like, hey, Danielle Pineda, I don't think you're going to get very far now that the one series you're in is fucking poison.
But it's like it's the same fucking thing with you got to keep going back to He-Man because that was such a telling disaster where if you promise people you're gonna
don't talk about Dolph Lundgren that way.
I remember going to see that movie when I was a kid and it was fucking
We're gonna
amazing.
review it at some point because it's hilarious.
Oh my god, it was amazing. It was just so fun. I remember
it's so bad but so good.
Oh, who's that kid? This kid Eric. I went to I was in first grade, third grade. I was in we were in elementary school anyway. This kid Eric, his mom had a hot 87 IROC. It was black with fucking gold stripes. She's driving us to the movies in it. Anyway, it was good times, man. I miss being a little kid sometimes.
Down memory lane.
Right. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about?
Nothing, because the news is over. So we're going to talk about some G Gundam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, G Gundam, son. So, been burning through G Gundam pretty damn fast.
Once you get going, man.
Actually past the halfway point now, but we're going to cut it at the halfway point. So, up through the island arc.
Yeah, man, you got to go to Training Island.
Yeah, before the finals, quote unquote finals start. So, what the hell is G Gundam about? So, G Gundam is, I believe it was the first alternate universe Gundam story, right? So taking the IP, one of the smart things Japan does, take the IP and looks of Gundam and do something that's not in the universe at all.
Completely wacky.
Has nothing to do with original Gundam.
It's super weird because it's nothing. It's before what we did last week, Endless Waltz.
Yes.
And it's you see so much G Gundam in Endless Waltz.
Yes, there's a lot of character and mech design.
And I never noticed it because I watched Endless Waltz definitely before G Gundam. Because G Gundam didn't come out over here.
G Gundam came out over here after Gundam Wing.
Yeah. And then
which is reversed order.
When you look back at it, you're like, oh, they just took wacky G Gundam designs and stuck them into a weird, I don't know, rip off of the original series.
Yeah, I mean, some are different. The Death Scythe is.
I mean, they're different, but they're the same wackiness.
No, but some are very close. The goddamn. The Dragon Gundam,
fake Saisaichi,
yeah,
basically,
and Wu Fei's. Yeah, it's the same.
I'm just saying they're the same
Very
wackiness
similar.
level. You're not going to see a fucking mech like the goddamn Maxter in a regular Gundam series.
No,
it's just not happening.
No. Anyway, G Gundam. So. It is what would happen if you took that Gundam veneer and jammed it on top of a kind of traditional super robot show.
Oh, definitely.
Where the whole premise is a fighting tournament, right? And granted, there's a plot going on underneath that because just a fighting tournament wouldn't be that interesting. But basically, the elites have fucked off from Earth into colonies that look wacky as hell. The Japanese colony looks like a mini model of Japan. The U.S. one is ridiculous and has the freaking Statue of Liberty and
it's ridiculous.
Mount Rushmore on it.
It's just classic.
It's insane. It's all stereotypes.
It's Japanese stereotypes on the rest of the world.
All stereotypes. There's a tequila Gundam for fuck's sake.
And I love every second of it.
It's got a giant sombrero.
The colony has a giant sombrero.
The colony is a giant sombrero. You're not wrong.
Neo
Mexico is indeed a giant sombrero.
Good.
Yeah, so don't if you're offended by cultural appropriation, don't watch G Gundam.
This is not the show for you.
You're gonna read through the whole thing. So anyway, it follows, of course, the Gundam fighter from Neo Japan. Domon Cashew and his
which is a wacky name.
His business partner slash girlfriend
slash
kinda,
special lady friend
Rain Mikamura. So they come down to Earth, and he's got an ulterior thing, right? He's looking for his brother.
One of the best female character designs in all of Gundam.
It is.
Just
it
saying.
is. She's got one of the all-time classic character designs in anything. Just a great designs all around, but someone spent some time designing Rain Mikamura, man.
Very
really
Gagar.
Yeah, there's a lot of Gagar in this too, and Gagar is later, so just interesting. I didn't go check like who did designs, but there's a lot of character design similarities.
Very similar, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, especially like George Desand and Soldato J, right? Like they have that same hair thing.
Yeah, it's the hair mostly.
Which is the same as Troa and Gundam Wing. So there's a through line there. So anyway, Domon comes to Earth with the Shining Gundam, Japan's Gundam, and he's looking for his brother. And he's got his picture of his brother all the time,
Yeah.
Kyoji Cashew, right? He's always looking for his brother, and he's trying to. His brother had absconded a year ago with the Devil Gundam, which some of these names might be different. If you've seen this before, the dub, there's different names. I'm not using the dub names. I'm using the sub names.
I think the dub
it's the Dark
Gundam. The
Gundam.
English dub was the Dark Gundam, and
the God Gundam was the Burning Gundam.
The Burning Gundam or whatever. Yeah,
because the Shining Gundam's the same, but.
I don't know why God and Devil are like not.
Yeah, it was
for
weird.
TV.
It was like for kids level of like weird censorship that they didn't have to do.
Amazingly unnecessary.
Not as bad as turning all the frickin' guns in Seed to disco guns, but we won't get into that. Seed was bad enough as it is.
Turning all the cigarettes into lollipops.
How can you even do One Piece? Jesus Christ, Sanji does nothing but smoke.
But that's what it was.
And never mind Smoker.
That's exactly what I'm talking
Never mind
about.
Smoker. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
4Kids did fucking.
Don't even bring it up. We'll talk about it some other time.
It happened.
It's terrible. All right, so Domon Cashew comes to Earth. He's in the Shining Gundam, and he's winning Gundam fights, right? Like, so you win a Gundam, you can just basically wander around and challenge whoever the hell you want. Gundam fights, there's rules. Like, it's supposed to be one-on-one. You're not supposed to attack the cockpit. If you destroy the head or disable the mobile suit, you win the fight. Theoretically, that person would get knocked out. There's apparently a finals, which they don't mention early on, but happens later, so just something to know.
You didn't get down to the point of the Gundam fights.
Yeah, so the point of the Gundam fights is who will like rule the colonies. Once every 4 years, like the World Cup, and like which nation will rule over
basically
all the colonies.
instead of having a democratic election, they
do a
have
Gundam
robots fight.
Yeah, so all the people,
which is way better than our system.
All the elites absconded into space, like most of Gundam, and they left. Earth is trashed. Like it's all fucked up. Like
kind of a dump.
It's fucked up more so than it even is in like Victory Gundam, right? Like Earth is fucked up, and
it's like Detroit.
Yeah, the entire Earth is like Detroit. So imagine that.
Sorry if you guys live in Detroit. But.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. That's fucking terrible. So, these fighters come to Earth from the colonies to have their Gundam fight and trash the Earth some more. Because boy, do they like to destroy monuments in this. Because like, I think it's the first or second episode. I think it's the second episode. Domon comes out of the Shining Gundam. He blows out of the Statue of Liberty. Like, okay.
Somehow the Shining Gundam is always hidden in some weird thing.
Things that make no sense.
How in the fuck did you get it in there, and why is it blowing?
It doesn't matter. It's none of this is important. So the first thing you have to do is calibrate yourself for the show. Don't expect any realism. There is no realism in G Gundam. G Gundam is ridiculous.
This is a wacky show for
children.
Domon's
Domon's the martial arts champion, and he catches bullets, and don't worry about it. It's classic cheesy super robot stuff. If you've seen Giant Robo, think Giant Robo.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of similarities. Same director, by the way.
Oh yeah, it is.
A lot of same showrunner anyway. Same a lot of similarities.
What the fuck was that guy's name?
His name is slipping my mind.
I literally have a Giant Robo poster signed by him.
I do as well. Love that guy. Imagawa.
Yes,
Yoshihiro Imagawa. Yeah.
Yep.
So he comes to Earth. He's searching for his brother. That's kind of the side story and like what's going on with the Devil Gundam. It's got these things called DG cells that
would be Devil Gundam cells.
Yeah, very, very innovative. That like will take over a human body, make it more metallic, and also make it the Devil Gundam slave.
Yeah.
Like once it gets in your brain, that's it. You're its slave.
The Devil Gundam's evil for some reason. No one knows why.
Yeah, I think they address that later, and it's been too long. I've seen it before, but it's been so long that
they'll tell us in the second half.
It's a little fresh, yeah.
So when we review the second half, you'll find out.
So anyway, Domon goes through his Gundam fights. You get to see some of the Gundam fighters you're going to see throughout. You get to see Chibude Crockett,
Chibidi.
which is the American Gundam fighter.
Oh my God, the best, one of the best, aside from Texas Mac.
The
best bullshit American stereotype ever.
He's the best. He's got his ridiculous fringe jacket on, like he's Davy Crockett. He's got a mobile suit that has a surfboard, a football helmet with shoulder pads,
and boxing gloves,
and a 6-shooter.
And he has 4 chicks with him all the time.
Yes, yeah. Chibidi Crockett is.
He reminds me of fucking Banjo, right?
Yeah, from Daytona 3.
From Daytona 3.
Yes, there's definitely some influence there for sure.
Except
there's a lot of like influence and direct ripoffs from a lot of classic super robots.
Yeah, I mean it's more of a like not
for sure. It's an homage, right?
It's
like
an homage.
It's done with love, right? It's not done cynically. Like you could tell the people that made this gave a shit about that kind of stuff.
Chibidi's smart because he swapped out the butler and the kid for 2 more chicks.
Yeah, he gave the butler to George DeSand.
Right. Oh yeah, I forgot that he does have the butler.
And he gave the kids to freaking Domo in the second half.
Ah man, Domo can't not like just get random kids.
Domo. So anyway, so you got that. You got Sai Saichi, which is like the Chinese kid who's piloting the Dragon Gundam, and he's like a bit of a miscreant, but he's supposed to be bringing back the glory of the Shaolin Temple.
Hell yeah.
And he's got those 2 old guys following him around, making sure he's bringing back the glory of the Shaolin Temple and not just, creeping on women.
Streets of Shaolin, son.
Streets of Shaolin. You got Argo Gulsky, the Russian space pirate with his, he's just huge, and he's got the ridiculous dominatrix chick with him at all times,
yes.
Keeping him in prison.
He's got fucking Ilsa with him all the time.
He's imprisoned, and, there's a cool episode where, Neo-Russia is just imprisoning Gundam fighters and stealing their Gundams and right. Stealing all their technology. It's
Classic
pretty cool.
Russia.
And then you got George DeSand, who's the
French,
Neo-France Gundam fighter, and he's the pretty boy, obviously. Yep. He's got the butler, but he's pretty cool. He's not like a super dainty dude. He's actually it's very old school, like French knight style more than anything.
He gets down,
but he's got like the rose bits that fly around like he's a goddamn.
Yeah, he's like the only one with bits, huh?
He's got bits
so far.
And then you have all kinds of other, the Grizzly Gundam, the Lumber Gundam, or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Lumber Gundam's Canada.
The
Tequila Gundam, obviously.
Drunk all the time.
Like the greatest stereotype ever.
What was I can't remember the name of it, but there's one that looks like a beefeater from England.
Oh fuck yeah!
Right. There's the Mummy Gundam. Don't forget the Mummy Gundam.
Yeah, the Mummy Gundam's actually kind of. It has its own episode.
It's got its own episode
from Neo Egypt.
Anyway, the whole first half of the show is mostly Domon wandering around looking for his brother until he starts running into people that have run into the Devil Gundam, and they're
because that's what he's looking for.
They're affected by it. They're either taken over or whatever.
And you got to treat them because they got them DG cells.
And then it really starts to pop off when he runs into Toho Fuhai, Undefeated of the East, Master Asia, one of the best characters in anything ever. Easily one of the best characters.
The greatest like that archetype where it's like he's good, then he's a villain, then he's good, then you never know. Yeah, like they do a really good job of he's kind of
so awesome. It's so ridiculous. It's so cheesy in the best possible way. I mean, my God,
just gotta shut your brain off and enjoy it.
But yeah, it ramps up from there. Then you start to see more of the sinister plot, and then there's some island training arc that's pretty good. But then it comes to a head with Domon having his first fight against the Devil Gundam, and the first half of the show has a satisfying conclusion. Like it really does wrap up a lot of stories, but it leaves enough hanging out there and enough mystery for you to really give a shit about the second half of the show.
Yeah, and the second half is like the culmination of the tournament, all that shit.
Yeah, so. You get the tournament finals in Hong Kong. You get Domon bouncing off the ropes that are. Oh yeah, the whole planet has like literally ropes with turnbuckles, like. They're like electric ropes with turnbuckles around the planet, around the equator, and he bounces off of them so he can get to Hong Kong quickly.
If you really got to get to Earth fast,
it's ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's such classic super robot silliness. The Gundam designs are great. Like, it's just fun. If you want to have just fun with a show, you watch frickin' G Gundam.
You get into it too.
Oh yeah,
it's got a good plot.
It's got a good plot. It's got characters you'll actually care about. It's got well-written characters.
For a show that corny, good character arcs. Yo, Domo starts out as like an angry fucking autist, like I gotta find my brother.
And it's got enough masculinity to kill your entire local college.
Oh my god, yes, it's manly as fuck.
It's great. So yeah, I can't say enough good about it. G Gundam, you know, this isn't a full review because we've only got through the first half and a little bit more of the second half, which we haven't talked about. We'll come back and talk about, you know, the whole thing and give a little bigger review.
First show after Christmas. We'll probably have it done, right?
Probably, yeah. For the new year, the last one of this calendar year, right? New Year's Eve special. Talk about G Gundam. Anyway, that's all I got to say about G Gundam. You have anything else you want to say about G Gundam?
No, it's fantastic.
All right. Watch it, man.
It's
really good.
I have no
Blu-rays are out. Like, Right Stuff, I think, has damn near every Gundam show on Blu-ray at the moment. So take advantage of that while it still is.
The box set is amazing, too. It has all kind of cool shit.
And it was just on sale. It was like $110, and it comes with all sorts of cool stuff.
It comes with a Tequila Gundam shot glass.
It comes with Tequila Gundam shot glass. It comes with patches for the Shuffle Alliance.
It comes with Domon's picture of his brother, which is awesome.
Yeah, a couple other postcards. It comes with, like, the headband, Domon's headband.
Yep.
Which that's kind of cheesy. And it comes with a lanyard, and actually a really awesome lanyard.
A lot of cool shit.
With an all-over print on it. A nice art book, a really nice kind of small art book.
Right.
And the whole show on Blu-ray. And for like $110, I mean,
it's not a bad deal.
It's a good Christmas present. Treat yourself, right?
Treat
someone you love. Treat your wife. She'll love it too. Probably not.
Wah, wah, wah.
And if she does, good on you. All right. Moving on. Let's have a little discussion on.
Let's have a heart-to-heart.
Yeah, let's have a discussion on, you know, what is the crashing and burning of live-action Cowboy Bebop really mean?
I think it's very telling because there's going to be there's a lot of crashing and burning. There's a lot of reeing. There's a lot of wringing of the hands. I think the bubble's finally burst. Like that Hollywood bubble has finally been like kind of blown up.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of portents of that. So there's kind of a couple things wrapped into one. One is, you know, the idea of live action anime adaptations overall. And two, there's the idea of things that have been woked. You know, things that have been adapted poorly and had agendas shoved into them. What's going on with that? And you can't really unlock those two, even though certain examples are one or the other.
The thing is, right to start off, Netflix does not have a Star Wars or a big like franchise to kind of ride.
They're really trying with The Witcher, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
I like the first season, but
they're just taking IPs that they know are very popular and just buying them, but they don't. They put people in charge that have no idea what they're doing.
Yes,
and now like there's such a disconnect between the people. You know, the executives and the people they put in charge that they think everything's fine, and then it gets completely shit on once it comes out. But I think they finally realized that they're putting people in charge that, you know.
Well, they finally started to lose the support of the shill media. You know, when
Polygon's fucking talking shit about you.
Well, they finally hit something that a lot of those people actually cared about, or didn't care about even in the least, and weren't even willing to shill for it, right? So you finally hit one of those things. Now, this is not as bad as that stupid Santa Inc. where like they won't even touch it.
The worst idea.
This got reviewed by the shill media, and they didn't. It was very lukewarm, right? And the audience score very lukewarm.
I read some shit in like Polygon and Kotaku or whoever that was just like very negative, and like you never hear that.
Yeah, they finally touched something that a lot of those people cared about.
Yeah, right? Like I always say, they'll eventually get something you care about.
But we've talked about that a lot already, right? Like, so does this mean it's the end? I'm going to say...
Nah, not the end.
Not necessarily, right? One, there's a lot of shit still in production, right?
Yeah, it's always like a 1 or 2 year lag.
You know, so you still have that.
But like I said last week, I think we're over the top of the mountain.
Yeah, and it's going to depend. Like, I think the two other series coming up that are series and movie that are going to be telling that are too deep, I think, into production to get unwound at this point are One Piece, which I think has no ability to be anything but a trash fire. Even if you had the best writers on Earth, I don't think you could do it.
I really, really want to see the first episode of it.
I am
just to see what the fuck they even do.
I have no idea how that. I was just restarted watching One Piece at episode like 740. Right. I'll get there eventually. And you know, I just don't. You can't. It just doesn't translate. It just doesn't. It's not going to translate. It's not going to work. You'd have to rework it entirely, and then is it even One Piece anymore? You'd be better off just having a pirate story.
I kind of think you just touched on the major point, though. Like, they changed stuff to the point where it's not even the original thing, and they're just like, they think that beating on an IP is going to like make people want to watch it, but then it's not what they wanted.
Yeah, it's not going to work. So that's going to be telling, although that one is kind of a mess. And then the other one is Gundam. I'm very curious about that Gundam show because it sounds like they have the right idea to not try to just redo something that exists. Just Gundam is known for this, right? Like, do your own thing with the dressing of Gundam.
Well, I mean, it's very Star Wars in the fact that you could do kind of whatever. Like, they could come up with completely original characters, base it in the 1 year war.
I think Star Wars really fucked up by not...
by sucking.
No, well, yeah, but by not embracing the alternate reality idea where, like, it doesn't matter if they're all in the same universe or not. You could take that setting and those trappings and do anything. Yeah. And they don't. You don't have to have continuity.
A la G Gundam, right?
Exactly my point.
You could take all those trappings and everything that made it cool and just be in a different galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't... it's going to be interesting because those shows I think are going to show whether shows are going to show.
I'm intrigued because it's
whether or not it's really going to be on a downturn or not. Because if they both crash and burn, I don't think anyone's going to touch a lot of those.
Nobody likes anything anymore. What the fuck was West Side Story? Like that did like that's exactly the kind of thing that like your average NPC retard would just fucking like pack that theater to go see. You know what I mean? Like imagine that 10 years ago. Like that shit fucking played.
I mean, I can say who gives a fuck about West Side Story, but
I'm saying like normal NPCs.
You know what?
That shit used to go over.
No, I'm going to say it. Who gives a fuck about West Side? Here's the problem.
I certainly don't.
I don't think West Side Story was popular enough. It was popular enough too long ago to work as a movie now. If they had done a movie and the movie was for fucking Hamilton, I bet you it would have done gangbusters. Because that's the shit people were into 10, 15 years ago. If you do Wicked as a movie, people would be into it, right?
I think they put Hamilton on like Disney Plus.
They did, and it did well.
Did it do well?
It did well.
I thought it didn't do as well as they thought it was supposed to.
They think everything's
Wait, that one
huge.
You might be right. I don't really remember.
Regardless, I heard it did well. That was just a production of it or whatever, though, right? Like a film production. I'm talking about if they actually made the movie. Like, do people care? It's like when they did Les Miserables a couple years ago. No one really cared, right? Because it wasn't. You're not tapping into that nostalgia vibe, right? Because it's not there. Because it's too old. And I'm not saying people didn't watch West Side Story 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, but you're not hitting that right. I just think the timing's off. Is my point. Like you're not hitting.
My point was nothing makes money now. Like you deep dive into West Side Story, but that was just my example.
Yeah, but that's not true.
Nothing makes money.
Yeah, but that's
now.
not true.
I mean, Dune made money, but it's very specific.
Dune made money.
Things.
Godzilla made money.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's very specific.
Stuff makes money. Well, people are being a little pickier, which is good.
Yes,
right, which is good. Ghostbusters made money. Like stuff is making money. Not the same amount of money it was. It's never going to get back to that level in the next 5-10 years. It's going to take a while. It probably will eventually, but it's going to take a while.
You're never going to like repeat like the Marvel madness.
Oh, you will.
Oh yeah, like 20 years, but like not anytime soon.
I don't think so. I don't think you are. I agree with that. I don't think you are.
I kind of want smaller stuff to come back.
Yeah, well, I want 70s again, right, where everything's kind of smaller.
Yeah, man.
Which gets back to my point. Like, I think if we see these big projects crash and burn, it's going to go back to more niche stuff for anime. You're going to get the stuff from Japan brought over here, the live action stuff that they do, because they're always going to do the live action stuff, and it's going to do well over there. Like, the Kenshin movies were good, and they got brought over here.
So you get a live action movie, and then you get a fucking stage play. That's how they make money in the end.
And a manga and
everything, yeah.
A flip book and whatever else format they can do. Book. Right, like I'm sure there's Viewmasters still.
Yeah, no, that's the way it is, man.
I think you're going to see it go more niche, but if one or two of those projects does well,
it may flip. And it is interesting because like Battle Angel and Alita did pretty well, and it didn't. I don't know. It didn't really catch up. But I don't know how many people even realized it was based on a goddamn anime, because
it's true.
Battle Angel Alita is not exactly high in the zeitgeist of the West, right?
No, it's like
nerds knew about it. Like you ask any nerd from back in the day, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that," because it's one of those OVAs that went around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was pretty big.
I mean, Ghost in the Shell was more well known, and that didn't hit that hard.
No,
Akira's not going to hit. Like, I don't know, man. The West just doesn't. Those anime didn't. They weren't big back then, so it's just not. It's not hitting your average 50-year-old normie. It's just not.
Not at all.
Now, as people like us get older, it's going to become easier, right? And you're going to be able to do that kind of stuff. Like if someone came up with a goddamn Robotech movie in 5-10 years, I bet you it would pop off.
That's not a generation. Like a lot of stuff from like the 90s didn't pop. It was literally like as soon as Pokemon got big, fucking Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z
pops.
is what did it. Like,
Yes.
you know, that whole like the Dragon Ball Z generation is when anime became ubiquitous with like, you know, Western entertainment. Like it was just, it is.
But I mean, Hollywood is never going to pass up another source of entertainment where they can just raid ideas that are ready made and, you know, violate them.
I want to see what happens with Yu Yu Hakusho.
I don't even know if that's going to get made. And that one's weird because it looks like, and I'm not sure, it looks like it's a Western funded, but Japanese produced.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Live action. And
Not that that'll be any better.
That I think has
suck too,
but I do think that has a possibility to be at least
Kenshin's the only one I've seen that was good. So,
but that wasn't Western funded,
is.
really. So
yeah,
that's probably why. And they did an excellent job with that. And that's something where, again, they toned it down. Not completely, but they toned it down. He wasn't calling out his attacks every time.
That's a way easier thing to do, too, because it was very historical. Like, if you just get rid of all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a very good historical drama, basically.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to have to wait for a few more bellwethers. Like, a lot of people are jumping on, oh, it's dead. Live action anime is dead. Cowboy Bebop crashed and burned.
It'll never be 100% dead.
It'll never be 100% dead. Will it go back to what it was before? Will it get bigger?
I don't know. Think their strategy was clearly we're going to do one of these like every year and just keep hammering them out. And I think they're rethinking their strategy. That's all.
Oh, I agree with that.
Until they find competent people to do it.
I agree with that. I just don't know. I just think it's the dam is broke, right? Like you can now raid anime and manga and whatever IPs for Western production, right?
And they're way cheaper than like, you know, Star Wars and shit.
Yeah. So I think, well, unless you're trying to do some Toho stuff, I hear they're real whores about licensing. But
it's Godzilla man,
expensive.
98. So, Godzilla 98 made them like hate like giving Western people.
Yeah, it took a while, right? They like the new ones though. Because they are cheesy and kind of nonsensical in the best kind of way. So I do think, I think we may be seeing the beginning. This is the first trickles of the flood. Like, I don't know. We may actually be seeing way more live action adaptations over here of that stuff because it's such a ready-made thing. Like, think about it. Let's say I'm a guy and I'm like, you know what? I really want to do like a crime, drama, suspense, thriller thing. Okay, I could come up with it from scratch. I could find something that's over here. Maybe I could find something. Or I could go adapt Monster to live action, right?
Oh, that'd be a good one, right?
Right. There's a lot of IPs out there.
That's my other point, too, that I was just going to make. They're just picking stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like, Monster is not super well known over here. Fucking excellent story. You know what I mean?
And easily, it's realistic.
And there's no fucking CG or any bullshit you need. Like, you could do that with all, like, practical effects.
It's a regular show.
Yeah, it's just, like, about a serial killer and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
but if you wanted some sci-fi, you could do Psychopaths. You could do City Hunter, right? Like, you could do Bubblegum Crisis. You want girl power? Go do fucking Bubblegum Crisis, for fuck's sake.
Right.
Don't, because you'll screw it up. But, you know, we need...
Leave that alone.
We need competent writers, first of all. But if you have that, there are a lot of IPs out there that you can mine.
And like I said, Monster's the perfect example of stuff that you could do like that is not going to cost you a ton of money.
Blackjack.
And Monster would be an excellent one that would translate to a Western audience of like just normies. You know what I mean?
Blackjack would work.
Classic.
Lupin the Third.
Oh, absolutely.
I hate to keep bringing it up, but these things can translate, right?
There's very few things better than Lupin.
So yeah, it's unlikely that Hollywood is going to give that up. I think we're actually going to start seeing more, but I do think that some of these
I think half-assing them is over.
High dollar, half-ass, put really shitty writers on it. That ain't going to fly. There's no point in doing that.
It's the shitty writers problem.
Well, plus, if you wanted that trash, just go have freaking Japan do what they do their own live action, just bring it over here. It's going to cost you way less money.
Yeah, I mean, is there...
and just as many people are going to freaking watch it.
They haven't done like a Cowboy Bebop one, but I mean, they did a Mob Psycho one. They've done like, so many.
Oh, yeah. They do a bunch of them. So, Full Metal Alchemist, like, you pick it, right? Another thing you could actually adapt over here and do a good job of if you knew what the hell you were doing.
There's a lot of stuff that's very Western to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're looking for your next Game of Thrones. There's some Japanese stuff you could go dig into, right?
You know what would be a fucking big dick, like, HBO Max series? All the Vampire Hunter D books.
Yep.
That would be epic
Vampire
if they really
Hunter D,
did them.
Well, and plus Vampire Hunter D isn't one of those things where you have a ton of source material. You don't have to mirror it.
No, not at all.
You don't do it at all. Exactly.
Because it's very basic stuff. Like, you don't have to make it crafty. Like,
you can just pull out the threads. But again, to do that, you have to be competent. And you have to have competent writers. So as competent writers come back into Hollywood, but competent writers aren't as likely to do adaptations, right? So it's going to be interesting to see. I think the floodgates are opening. I don't think they're going to close. I don't think it's going to be like, oh my God, this show failed. Close. No. I think you're going to see a hell of a lot more anime adaptations.
I just think Netflix isn't going to do them because they're going to go bankrupt soon. But
I think Netflix isn't going to do much of anything because they're going to be hurting. They threw a ton of money to throw a million things at the wall and see what stuck, and nothing stuck. Well, almost nothing stuck.
A lot of stuff stuck early, but then they just kept doing it, and
they kept screwing it up. Like they screwed up Lost in Space. Like it started out all right, and then it just got kind of boring.
Oh God, I want to like it because it's a cool idea, and like all the effects are cool,
and the
looks
cast
cool.
I mostly like, and the writing isn't terrible. It's just
they did it wrong. Like it's good for what it is, but it's not correct.
It's supposed to be a space adventure show, and it isn't really.
Yeah, it's like all this.
It's a character
drama, and it's like, why do they make everything into? Like
everything's an edgy character.
Everything's an edgy character drama. You are correct, and it's just like it's not my thing, man.
So yeah, I don't know. I think we beat this topic to death. I think the bottom line is the death of Cowboy Bebop means something. It's important that it got canceled after one season and didn't get to suffer and linger on.
I think they've learned a lesson at least.
I do. But that doesn't mean that it's going away. That doesn't mean you're not going to get some bad series still. And it doesn't mean you should even necessarily want them to not do anything else. I get that there's and I share this feeling, this general feeling like, oh God, just don't touch it. You're going to fuck it up. I don't trust you.
I feel that about like basically everything.
I feel that about a lot of things, but there's certain things that, like those Kenshin movies were good, but that was done in Japan. But it could still be done good. So I'm going to be the eternal optimist and say, if something like that Gundam show turns out even halfway decent, or that Gundam movie turns out halfway decent, I'll give them another chance.
Live action Psychopaths, that's what I want to see.
Yeah. I'll take any freaking Cyberpunk, and Psychopaths is some of the better.
I don't
Cyberpunk.
think it'd be that expensive.
No, it'd be cheaper than Altered Carbon.
Yeah, exactly.
I think because a lot of it's more normal looking.
And you could just go standard. That's another show that started out really good and then just kind of like petered out.
Yeah.
Like that last season was just, man.
Yeah, no, Psychopaths has been dawdling for a while. Like I enjoy it.
I didn't mean Psychopaths, I meant Altered Carbon.
Oh, Altered Carbon really dawdled. No, I mean Psychopaths. Psychopaths, I like it.
There was no last season. It was like the movies.
Yeah, it's been dawdling kind of like I would like a new show with the main characters. They might get there. They've been doing a lot of side story shit.
The main characters showed up in the movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
I don't know. Anyway, it would be a great live action show.
Yes.
Just saying.
All right. Put that one to bed. Move on.
It's time to attack the Dagger of Kamui.
We're going to attack the Dagger of Kamui.
Oh, God, don't do it.
So bad. Okay, so Dagger Kamui. Movie based on, I think it was a series of 5 novels. Came out in 1985.
I was basically going through a list of anime movies, and this one was very highly rated. So I was like, I haven't seen it. We should do it.
It's got an angle involving the Ainu people, that live in Japan. So very much Golden Kamui there.
Yeah, it's got some Golden Kamui steez. So I was like, hey, let's do that.
Which is cool because I do love me some Golden Kamui. Excellent show. Check it out. Dagger Kamui, I'm not so sure. So you got Jiro, the main character. He's a kid. He starts out as a kid. He ends up older. There's a lot of montages, right?
Oh, Jesus.
And basically, his father was a ninja. He ran away. His mother was an Ainu. Then
his father was a ninja, and then he met this Ainu woman, and then they had a kid, and he was like, "Fuck it, I don't want to be a ninja anymore. I just want to live with this sexy Ainu lady," and had be a dad. And then ninjas being ninjas, they had a fucking blood vendetta against him.
Well, the whole thing was like some elaborate plot to get this treasure that Captain Kidd had hidden away.
He had a treasure map to secret treasure.
And
very much like Golden
He allegedly knew
Kamui.
about it, and then there's ninja politics, and it's all going on right before and after the Bakumatsu in Japan. The Meiji Restoration era. So the end of the shogunate and the beginning of the Meiji Restoration. So it's a tumultuous time. You got the ninja clans fighting each other. There's betrayals. Obviously.
A lot of betrayals, a lot of montages.
Betrayals, an evil monk.
A lot of everybody he knows dying all the time. He's not allowed to have a family.
Do not be friends with Jiro.
Don't be friends. Don't be long lost family.
Yeah, don't.
Everyone that gets within sniffing distance of this kid just dies.
He's dead. They're all dead.
Fucking horrific.
One or two get to live way later, but they're basically all dead. It's cool because it spans. So he goes out. Basically, what happens is the ninja clan that took him in after he ended up stabbing his own father without realizing it at the behest of the evil monk. He gets taken in by the ninja clan, gets taught how to be a ninja, and he's a really good ninja. And then he goes back up with the Ainu, and they basically conspire to, not the Ainu, but the other ninja conspire to get him to figure out where the hell the treasure is so they can get the treasure. So he ends up getting chased from Japan to frickin' the United States. He goes up and down the coast. He's all over.
Oh yeah, he's in the Wild West for a while.
Yeah, he's in the Wild West. He's in the frickin'.
It's pretty wild stuff.
It's pretty cool. So there's a lot to like about Dagger Kamui. I almost said Golden Kamui. There's a lot of Ninja Scroll in Dagger Kamui. It's an old Madhouse production.
Yeah,
old Madhouse. It's got some crazy designs.
Some of
them are obviously Madhouse.
A lot of the animation is it's this weird old Western style that they used to do back in the 80s to look like more when they were trying to kind of ship shit out to America. But a lot of stuff is just stock Madhouse. Like Tenkai, the evil. It's Tenkai, right?
Yeah, the evil.
The evil monk. He looks exactly like the Shogun of the Dark, except he's bald. That same square nose and
Oh, the design is very similar. Yeah, there's even similar plot
very
elements.
Madhouse regardless.
Similar plot elements to Ninja Scroll as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, all right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the things that are good and the things that are bad. Right? So the good is it's actually a fairly interesting story.
It's a super cool idea.
Even though the telling of it is a bit botched with a lot of montages. It's kind of compressed, long. It's almost 2.25 hours long.
What was it? It's based on 5 different books.
You can tell.
A series of books.
At points they rush.
It's a 2-hour movie, but man, do they just jam so much shit in there.
And they rush. And at some points it feels a little slow, and at some points they rush. There's montages to get you to places that clearly that shouldn't be rushed, and then especially that last act is just what the hell? Rush. This happens, done. Right?
It's weird because they really dawdle at the beginning. They'll have a bunch of montages. They're 1 or 2 montages in a row, right? And then they basically donk. They just we're gonna be super slow about this whole next 40 minutes of shit. It's oh my god, come on. You can do better than this.
Yeah, but then it gets to the end and they're just bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, it's very
this happened. Oh, there's a battle here that you don't see anything of.
Oh yeah, they'll basically have it'll be a still, and then there'll be like text over it, like in 18 whatever, blah 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 blah.
All this stuff happens.
And it's like, okay, you're just gonna,
you're gonna show me a little bit of that.
You're just gonna gloss over that. Fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Everything's fine.
So that's the story itself is good, but the storytelling is kind of a mess, mostly because of the format.
I wonder if you can get the books. I kind of like to read the books.
Probably not. The animation itself has a lot of weirdness. There's a lot of weirdness.
Sometimes it's like gorgeous fucking scenes, right?
Sometimes.
And then they just do these like awful stylistic things where they'll have like, it looks like a mid-tier episode of Space Adventure Cobra. There's like all these like lasers and shit in the background, and
there's a lot of weird like psychedelic stuff going on.
Yeah, and I mean it was 1985. Like,
haven't we evolved past this? Well, I mean the Cobra movie has a lot of that too, and
not a very psychedelic
from the same time frame. Although the Cobra movie did that.
That and it has probably the worst soundtrack ever.
The music is abysmal.
My god, it makes you want to like fucking either put earmuffs on or just like jab something sharp in your ears.
It's terrible. It's terrible, like 80s light rock with endless solos, and it's not even like.
And they have all these good. Like during the fight scenes, they have this like weird background noise. It's just somebody going for like literally 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird.
It's just like amazing.
Animal and human noises, repetitive. Like
yeah, it's just like
like what?
And instead of music, it's somebody going da 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 da. It's like it's just so annoying.
It's so jarring and unnecessary.
And there's a lot of like weird, like they'll have like a red background with like just black characters over it, and like you don't really know what's going on, but you kind of guess.
Yeah,
there's some kind of kung fu going on.
It's like animation.
There's some kind of
hey, sir, ninjutsu.
There's some kind of animation money saving going on in the background.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but it's not even done well.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. For Madhouse, it's terrible. Like I've never seen them.
Yeah,
do
there's some good
so
points,
weird.
but yeah, it's got.
You can tell it's early Madhouse.
He's got cool outfits. It's cool when he's wandering around.
Yeah.
Oh, except. Okay, motherfucker is in the coldest place on it. He's in Alaska. He got pants on? No, ain't got no pants on. He's got a shirt.
He's just wearing a bathrobe.
He got no pants on. Motherfucker gets to the old west.
Nevada,
the desert. He's got pants on. What?
It kind of makes sense.
What? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It breaks my head.
How many special ladies does he go through?
He ain't going through none of them because he ain't got no balls left because they froze off somewhere fucking in the Yukon territory.
No, but I mean, like, he has half a dozen love interests and they all get murdered.
Well, one of them turned out to be his sister, so thank God nothing ever really happened there.
It was a close one, man. She was into it.
That was really close.
That was some, like,
Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back shit.
No, I was thinking of Back to the Future too. Same diff.
Well, that's with your mom. That's even worse.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I don't know which is actually worse, but they're both terrible. Don't do it.
Listen, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah. So,
you know my mom and my sister.
I mean, it's hard. It's a story about a treasure hunt with some ninjas and some cowboys. Like, that seems really cool.
It should be a series. It would make an awesome series, right?
Also, it's extremely problematic because Jiro is a slave owner. He totally buys a slave.
Oh, yeah, this guy, like...
No, he does it to free him from slavery.
He saves this guy.
Sam.
And then, yeah, Sam. He's like black dude on a ship. Like that was a standard thing in the 1880s or whatever the fuck it was.
1870. Wait a minute. No, it wasn't. I'm having an epiphany here. This is like the late 1860s. That shit was illegal. That captain's a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Sam was free the whole time.
Yeah. What the fuck was that? Get that man an Emancipation Proclamation. It's bullshit.
Oh, maybe he hadn't been back to America in so long he didn't.
Yeah, that's right. He was out to sea. He didn't realize that shit was highly illegal and frowned upon now.
That's hilarious. Anyway, he saves Sam, and then Sam's like, I'm your man for life. And then the captain's like, nah, man, I own Sam. Fuck you. I think the captain was just bullshitting them because he wanted all that.
Probably. He just wanted the gold.
Yeah, so then...
entirely possible.
What the fuck's that kid's name?
Which kid?
The main character.
Jiro,
that's what it is. Sorry. I'm retarded. Anyway, so Jiro's like, I'll give you this like bag of gold that the old guy gave me.
Yeah, he was gonna give him 2 bags of gold.
But then the captain only takes 1 bag of gold.
Yeah,
because he knew he was fucking scamming.
Yeah, he totally did. Plus, he knew they'd hang his ass if he was owning slaves back home.
That's true. Anyway, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Like,
wait a minute, time frames.
Sam was free the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Japan didn't know that. They couldn't possibly.
It's just a weird aside.
Open
Sam's just a cool side character. You know, he's pretty based.
Sam's fucking ride or die, man.
Yeah, man, ride or die for life. Yeah. So various love interests. You got that, Native American Indian girl who's
no, the French girl
who's French. Yeah, who's actually French.
There's a lot of weird shit going on there.
There's a lot of weird stuff. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in here.
Like, her parents died, and then she was taken in by Indians, but she was actually French. Why that matters, I have no
here's
fucking
the problem.
idea. But
if it was given the room to breathe,
yeah, it needs a series
and the time to breathe, maybe it'd be better, or maybe it would just there's not enough going on if you did it that way, and it'd be too boring. I don't know.
I wonder if it's like a big enough property where they would like do it.
Here's something where you could obviously live action adapt it and actually do it well.
It's like perfect, actually.
It'd be a good 10 episode, like hour-long episode series.
I should send an email to Netflix right now.
No, they'll just woke it up. It'll be terrible.
Don't give it to fucking Amazon.
There's a goddamn slave owner in it. There's no way it's gonna work.
I trusted HBO Max until Santa Inc. And now I'm not sure I trust HBO Max anymore.
I never fully trusted HBO Max because, I mean, they did some horrible shows like Watchmen.
But they did. That was a long time ago.
Put into production a long time ago, but still. So was Santa Inc. Let's be clear about that. You don't do that claymation in a day.
No, but a lot of the stuff they've done recently has been like decent.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Whatever.
They have a better track record than like any other streaming service.
Cover your damn mouth.
I did. Fuck you.
Gross. Anyway, Dagger Kamui, Blade of Kamui.
You're literally gonna reprimand me for burping
into the microphone. I will. Anyway, Dagger Kamui.
I didn't. I burped over there.
I didn't. My mom didn't. So indignant.
Fuck off, Grandma.
Dagger Kamui. Check it out if you want, but I'm not going to tell you should.
It's a classic.
It's an oddity,
but I don't know why it's a classic.
It's got a cool story.
It came very, like, highly recommended.
Yeah, I would not highly recommend it. I would lukewarm. Check it out if you come across it otherwise.
The fight scenes will make you want to kill yourself. Because they do these weird, like I was talking about before. It's just like, a solid color background with, like, shit going
while
on
it's
in
making
front
all
of
those
it.
annoying noises.
And it's just making annoying noises. Like, there's literally somebody
terrible.
in a microphone going, It's very annoying.
Yeah.
So,
you get the effect.
I don't know.
So anyway, it's a meh. Not a recommend, not a not recommend, just meh.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to see what all the hype was about.
Pick something better for next week is what we'll do.
This was just a random.
Hey, gotta do it.
I pulled it out of the hat because I wanted something old that I hadn't seen yet. So sometimes you get a stinker.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a stinker. It was just meh. I'm indifferent.
Fair enough. Killed 2 hours of my life.
All right, I'm going to take my indifference and stop talking.
Anyway, yeah. It's about that time. So 1 week until Christmas. Next week, we're going to go through our favorite Christmas episodes.
Yep.
Because it seems like a thing to do right before Christmas.
That it is.
So grind out this last week, and we'll see you then.
Peace.
Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.